How long does it take to read through the Bible? Well, in this video I'm going to let you know a little bit about my own journey and exactly how long it takes to read through the Bible. So a couple of years ago I made this video. Well, if you've ever asked yourself, how do I read the Bible? And now that I have actually read through the Bible myself, I thought it'd be an appropriate video to share with you all and let you know exactly how long it takes to read through a big book like this. So, let's say you wanted to read one verse a day. If you read just one verse a day, that seems doable, right? Well, there's a total of 31,102 verses in the Bible. So again, one verse a day, it would take you 85 years to read through the Bible. That's a long time. That's a lifelong journey. And hey, if you want to do that, by all means, go ahead. That could be a really interesting project and a lifetime achievement, literally. But let's say you wanted to shorten that time frame up a little bit. Let's say you did a chapter a day, right? So there's 1,189 chapters in the Bible, 1,189 chapters. If you read one chapter a day, it would take you just a little over 3 years to read through the entire Bible. That sounds a little bit better. And maybe you're like, it's still too long. Okay. Well, there's 66 books in the Bible. And if you read one book a day, that's 66 days. That's pretty self-explanatory. Or maybe you just say, I'm just going to read through it in a year. And you can buy a workbook and go through the Bible in a year, or do a YouVersion Bible app, 1 year through the Bible plan. Whatever it is, that's not the point. The point of reading the Bible is not for sport or to say you did it and brag to your friends about it, or to feel better about yourself and feel a little more self-righteous, or to just fulfill some sort of obligation to God. The point of reading through the Bible is for life transformation. Inner transformation that leads to outward transformation and external differences. You see, when I started my journey back in the fall of 2018, and I just finished reading through the Bible as of April 14th, 2021, which is 2.5 years it took me. When I first started, I began to change. I started in the book of Matthew. I started in the New Testament. And what happened was that my inner self began to change. I began to think differently and act differently. See, when you allow the Bible to get inside of you, when you allow the Bible to permeate your soul and your spirit, things start to change on the inside of you. You start to become a different person and treat people differently and treat yourself differently even. So my journey was 2.5 years. Maybe a little bit different because I read a Life Application NIV Bible. Now this one is a lot bigger than maybe what you guys have, and the reason is because there's a bunch of notes and character profiles and maps and different themes and mega themes and all kinds of different information in here to read as supplemental material as you're going through it. So it took me a little bit longer than just a chapter a day. And that's the thing. I wasn't always perfect. I wasn't reading the Bible every single day. I had multiple times where I missed and didn't read. And again, it wasn't about that. It wasn't about being like, I'm going to read it every single day. And like, that should be the goal. Don't get me wrong. We should try to read it every single day. But the point was that I kept coming back to it. And over time, it went from a discipline to a habit and then eventually to a passion, where it's like, I can't go a day now without reading it, at least getting something at some point in the day from it. And so what happens when you finish? What happens if you start in Matthew and you read all the way through Malachi in the Old Testament? You come right back around to Matthew. Are you just done? And you get just throw it on the shelf and say, cool, I'm done. Thanks, God. Like, awesome. No, like, just go back and start again. Read through it again. Like, God will start to show you different things. He'll start to reveal new things that you understand in a greater way now that you've seen the entire thing. See, the whole story of Jesus' salvation for us and Him dying on the cross and being raised from the dead, it's so much more powerful when you understand where the Israelites have been and where God's people have been and where God has been in the middle of all of this struggle and tension and turmoil and victories and all kinds of other things. And another part about reading through the Bible is you get to understand God's narrative, His giant mega story that he's trying to tell us and that he wants to partner with us in. You begin to understand that story a little bit better and a little more intimately. And I will give you a fair warning, there's some really weird things in this book. Like things that I can't explain, I'm not even comfortable talking about because they're so weird and uncomfortable. But be prepared to be challenged because there's weird things in here. And I might even be as bold to say things that you're going to wrestle with and question and go to God and be like, that doesn't make sense. But that's okay. It's okay to wrestle with this book, with the text. What am I trying to say with all of this? Just start reading. If you're a Christian, I dare say, and you haven't at least started reading through the Bible and tried to make it a consistent habit, it's time to start. There's no better time than now. I know there's life things going on and whatnot, but take 10 minutes and read a few verses at least, Just start with something. God's not wanting you to read the entire book in one day. It might take you 5 years to read through the Bible, and that's okay. The point is, it takes time. This is a big book. There's 66 books in this one book. That's a lot of reading to do. So take your time, but just start. Just start somewhere. Start in the book of Matthew with a chapter, a verse, however you want to do it. Learn your place in this story. God wants you to know your place in this story because you have one. That's kind of the whole purpose of this channel, is to let you know that you're one person, but God knows exactly who you are. He knows how He created you. He knows all of your issues and your weaknesses and your strengths and your abilities and talents because He put every single one of them in there, and He wants to use your life as part of His story. Well, that will do it for this video, but hey, before you click off, leave a comment down below and let me know where you're at on your journey and how long it's taken you to read through the Bible. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time on For the One.